Angry MGTOW here. And today we're discussing the failure of millennial women. I know. And this is a response to Katie Carney. The failure of millennial women. I mean, there've just been so many. But yeah, let's just go over a couple dozen. Enough of that intro. Today we're discussing the failure of millennial women, and this is a response to Katie Carney. That's an interesting name. Makes me think of Drew Carey, even though they're not really that related. But then, I guess it's the Carney. But anyway, so we're gonna watch this video, and this is a woman who lived in her car. She was actually homeless. You guys seem to be loving these homeless videos, homeless chick videos. So decided to pick up another one for you. So we'll go ahead and jump into the video, and we'll see what she's basically going to tell us about why she was homeless. So she's not homeless anymore, and but she was homeless. She had made a video talking about living in her car. Now this is the video that comes well after she stopped living in her car, and we're going to hear her reasons for why she lived in her car. I often talk about how dysfunctional the millennial generation is, but let's get it firsthand. Let's get it from the horse's mouth. So let's just go ahead and jump on in.
Meals and going food shopping and help taking her medicine and things like that. And so she was offering free rent in exchange for some. Hi, this is Katie. In today's video, I'm gonna do like a little story time video and essentially tell you guys why I was homeless. That's probably why a lot of you even found my channel, because I did a video on sleeping in my car. So I just figured it was time to tell you guys why I was actually homeless and why I was sleeping in my car. I know I kind of touched on it or just kind of said, oh, well, I didn't have a place to stay, but I wanted to explain to you guys the whole entire story and let you guys know what really happened. So this part of the story I've told like a million times in the past few weeks. About 3.5, 4 years ago, I thought I wanted to move to LA, so I stayed in LA for a few weeks and then randomly decided that I wanted to move to Portland. So I drove up to Portland. I ran out of money halfway through. I found money, luckily, and was able to get to Portland, but I didn't have a...
Okay, so she spontaneously decides that she wants to move to LA, so she moves to LA. Then she decides that she wants to move to Portland, so she decides to move to Portland, then runs out of money while she's moving to Portland, but luckily found money. How did you just find money? Did money just fall out of the sky? I mean, there's a bunch of ways that I'm sure she could make money, but how did she just find money? She ran out of money and then she found money. So did your parents help you out? Did your daddy give you money? Or did you do something to get that money? There's something that doesn't make sense here. She found money. You just found a couple $100s? Yeah, that doesn't happen. No such thing.
A place to stay. I didn't know where I was going. A car just parked right next to me. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't really know anything, but luckily my friend's friend lived in Portland, and I stayed with him maybe the first night, I guess, or something. And I was looking for places to stay, but I didn't have any money and I didn't have a job. So while I was looking on Craigslist to see if there was any way that I could afford a place to live, even though I had no money, so I don't even know why I was looking on Craigslist, but while I was looking, I found a place with this woman, and I'm not going to tell you her real name, but with this woman, and she was offering free room and board for, I don't even know how you'd explain it, but kind of like to take care of her. She had autism. She was very high functioning, but she needed help like cooking meals and going food shopping and help taking her medicine and things like that. And so she was offering free rent in exchange for somebody helping to take care of her. And so my brother has autism, as most of you guys probably know, and he's high functioning as well. So I messaged her and I told her about my brother, and she wanted to meet. So this was like my first night there. And I was with my friend's friend, and he came with me, and we met up with this woman, and she was very, very nice. And so maybe, I think I had to stay at that guy's house for a night, and then I was able to to move into her place. So I stayed there for about 6 weeks, and I care if I got a job when I was still living there or if I got a job afterwards. I think I got my first job in Portland while I was living with her, but I still was not making that much money. Like, it was part-time. And living with her, like, she was great and I really liked her, but living with her was a little like stressful for me, and I didn't know if I actually wanted to take on that role as like a living caretaker. Especially, like, I was not actually that young. I was like 26, but I just felt like I wanted to live in Portland and like do my own thing, and living with this woman was a responsibility, and I guess I was just not up for the responsibility.
Okay, so holy cow. So she finds a place to live and she's basically becoming a live-in caretaker, but she doesn't like the responsibility that comes with helping this woman go shopping for groceries. So this is a woman who has high functioning autism, meaning that she can go to the bathroom on her own. She can more or less she can get herself dressed in the morning. She needs help going shopping for groceries. She needs help doing very basic things from what it sounded like. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, here you have this millennial woman who was handed a gold spoon, and it's like she doesn't want to work for anything. I mean, you're a live-in caretaker. All you have to do is essentially help this woman around the house. It wasn't, and obviously you were able to work a part-time job while you were living there, so you didn't have to help her 24/7. There were just specific things that you had to help her with. You know, remember, like making a grocery list. I mean, come on. That's kind of ridiculous. And then you say that she was a really nice lady, so it doesn't sound like she was annoying or problematic. What, you help her get her medication together in the morning? I mean, like, how narcissistic is our millennial generation, where you cannot even, you know, you're living in someone's place for free, but you can't be bothered with the annoyance of having to help them out in exchange for living there for free. And considering the cost of rent, you would rather live in your car than do this? I mean, like, I'm just utterly scratching my head on this one. I don't know. Like, what the hell is wrong with our generation?
Which is immature of me and selfish of me, but that's just what it was. So
there, she calls it out herself. It was immature and irresponsible of her. She had literally, she wasn't a kid. She was what, 26, 27 at the time? She wasn't a kid. She was a grown woman. She's around 29, 30 now. She's about 30 years old now. All right? Or very close to it. I mean, this is a joke. This is just ridiculous. This highlights just how ineffective millennials are in this generation. They don't want to do anything. They can't maintain any level of responsibility. They cannot even handle the very basics. People spend over $1,000 a month in rent. And just to basically help someone out around the house, I can't be bothered. I'd rather do my own thing, man. Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with our generation? I don't know. And you know, this highlights how millennial women are. Like, this is the failure of millennial women. The fact that they can't commit to anything or anyone besides themselves. The least of things, having responsibility over the least of things is too much for a millennial woman. Oh my gosh. I'm getting frustrated.
I mentioned to her that I was thinking of moving out. Granted, I don't have any money, and the job that I had paid very little and was part-time. So I told her I was thinking of moving out, and she's like, okay, just let me know when you find a place. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, she decided that she didn't want me to stay there at all anymore because she kind of felt betrayed, which I completely understand. And so she told me that I had to leave.
I mean, I don't blame her. What a horrible person this woman is. Like, she literally, like, oh my gosh, what? This is the typical American woman, American millennial woman. Like, seriously. Like, she did this to another woman. She did this not to a man. She did this to another woman. To another woman who was giving her free rent, nothing. All she had to do was help around the house, help her with grocery shopping. I'm sure she wasn't going grocery shopping every single day. And listen, and this is the crazy thing. She had no money. She had nowhere to go. And she does this? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? She had no money, nowhere to go, but she would rather live on the street than help someone out. No wonder the lady kicked her out. I mean, but seriously, what the hell? This is the typical American millennial woman does not even plan ahead. They don't plan ahead for the future. They are just thinking about the right now. They're thinking about the right now. They want instant gratification. They want everything handed to them, and they don't want to help others. Helping others. I mean, don't forget that we have a movement where women are now saying they want to be paid for their emotional labor. Women want to be paid for their emotional labor, all the things that they do for others, all the times that they spend listening, the care that they give to their children, to their husbands. They need to be paid for that. Husbands don't need to be paid for their labor because all of that's included. Women are the ones who do the bulk of everything. I mean, what? Oh my gosh. You know, guys, it's funny. I just can't. You would think that I would run out of videos. You'd think I'd start running out of videos at some point, just showing how narcissistic the millennial women are, especially in the West. But it just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. Like, I just have to pick a video. Just pick a video and let them speak, and they just take it away. Oh my gosh. My feelings are hurt.
So I called up my friend's friend, who at that point was one of my friends, and he said that I could stay at his place for like a week or two until I could find a place. So I slept there for about a week and a half, and then I started kind of dating somebody, like kind of dating.
Don't tell me she brought this other guy back to her friend's place to fuck him. Oh my gosh. Like, seriously, someone is doing you a favor? What the fuck is wrong with the millennials? Oh my gosh, what the fuck? And then she has the nerve to laugh? This is not funny.
Him, and he knew the situation. He's like, Katie, you can just sleep on my couch for a little while, don't worry about it. And I like I know it sounds crazy, but I guess that I trusted him. So I left my friend's house after about a week and a half, and I started staying with the guy that I was kind of dating. And after about a week, this story is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. So after about a week on his couch, yes, I stayed on his couch. After about a week on his couch, I got back together with an ex that I was dating who was living in Florida.
Wait a minute. She got back together with an ex that she was dating that lived in Florida while living on this guy's couch after moving out of another guy's place. So she was basically monkey branching from one guy to another guy to another guy. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Guys, holy shit! Holy shit! And she's laughing. Oh my God, thank you. God, I am not in a relationship with one of these women. Oh my gosh. Like, what the fuck? Do you understand the reason why men are so jaded in our generation and want to have nothing to do with women? Holy cow. This is the American woman. This is what we have to look forward to. No, thank you.
So like a long distance ex, not like an ex-ex, but like we just broke up a few weeks prior, started dating this random dude, but then my ex and I got back together, so I obviously had to move out of this guy's house. So then I was like, crap, I don't have anywhere to go. I just have nowhere to go.
Wait a minute. By the way, I just realized I didn't pause the mic, so there was probably an echo. Whoa. So let me get this straight. She started dating her ex to his distance, so she had just broken up with him. Oh, huh? What the hell? So she starts dating him while he's still living in Florida, but she's still living in Portland after moving randomly from LA, to which she had moved to from Florida, evidently, spontaneously. And she decides that she's going to get back together with this guy in Florida who she's not even able to see anymore, but just based on the emotional reassurance that she was feeling at the time, she felt that it was right to have a long distance relationship with him while she was staying with someone else. Huh? Do you see the reasons why men should just go their own way? Do we need any more evidence? Guys, do you need any more evidence?
I have no other friends. I have nothing. But by this point, like within these 2 or 3 weeks that I was out, I got another job. I actually maybe got both of my jobs. I got a full-time job as like a receptionist and then a part-time job as another receptionist, but just for like 1 day a week. So I was working a lot, but I still wasn't making that much money. So I definitely did not have enough money for rent, and I did not have any more friends to like stay at their places. So I was like, well, I guess I have to go sleep in my car. And so I had the same car, the same.
So she burned pretty much every bridge. She burned every bridge, and then she had nowhere else to go but her car. Guys, you can't make this kind of shit up. Can't make this kind of shit up.
Little Yaris, and I slept in a Whole Foods parking lot. It was a small parking lot. I don't even know why I picked that one, but it was like not on a super main road in Portland. Usually when I sleep over in a parking lot, I try to find something that is 24 hours. So if I need to go into the establishment and go to the bathroom or brush my teeth or buy a bottle of water or something like that, I can. But I don't know if I couldn't find one or what it was, but I picked this Whole Foods, which had nothing that was open 24 hours and nothing near it that was open 24 hours. I think there was a grocery store a few miles away that opened at like 6 a.m. So I was able to like wake up and get ready. I mean, I got ready mostly in the car, but if I needed to use the bathroom or if I wanted to brush my teeth in front of a mirror and a sink, I was able to go to this grocery store. I don't remember the name of it, grocery store a few miles away. But anyway, so I lived in my car for only like 10 or 11 days. And one of my coworkers.
Okay, so she was parking by a Whole Foods she was staying in a Whole Foods parking lot, a small parking lot at night. And let's get this straight. There was nowhere around her that was open 24 hours. So, but she was able to go and like use the bathroom at 6 a.m. at this grocery store that was nearby. But what about the time in between that? So if she had to go to the bathroom and she had to pee or poop, where was she peeing or pooping? Because if she said there was nothing open around there, was she driving to some far distance to find? Because she said there was nothing open in the area. So where was she peeing and pooping during those hours? Oh, she just held it. She just held it until she just held it until she was able to get to the grocery store in the morning. Guys, I talked about when I was homeless, and I basically explained that if you don't have a place to go, you're going to be going to the bathroom at the side of the road. All right? When I was homeless, I saw lots of piss and shit at the side of the road, literally on the sidewalks, because people didn't have anywhere else to go. And when human nature calls, you just have to do what you have to do. And I think that this is a point where she's being dishonest, where she's not being honest about it. She's saying, you know, she waited until 6 a.m. every day to go to the bathroom. You know, the average person wakes up and goes and pees during the night, or sometimes even has to take a poop. But she didn't have to do any of that. She was able to sleep in her car like steadily. And then on top of that, let's talk about the place where she was parked. There was nothing open around her. So she was like parked in an empty, desolate area. And I mean, she's not an ugly girl. I'm not saying she's a beauty queen, but she's not an ugly girl. I mean, what? She's still, you know, she's not extremely young, but she's not an old woman. She's still fairly young. And I mean, seriously, there's a lot of things that could have happened in that situation. There are people who could have broken into her car while she was asleep in there. She could have been assaulted. There's a lot of things that could have happened. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how do you do this? And she put herself in this situation. She like betrayed one guy after another guy after another guy. And she just kept monkey branching. If you guys don't seem to notice, she kept using men. One man after another man until she ended up getting fucked in the end. And she did this with absolutely nothing. She was living with this nice lady who gave her free housing just to help her out with basic things around the house. And she did this, and like she just said out of nowhere, you know what? I can't be bothered anymore. I can't be bothered to help you anymore. Like, seriously, this just talks about the character. And it's funny, as men, we have to constantly, learn to basically behave in a certain way that makes these women happy. Like, we have to learn to do the things that are appealing to these women. We have to change ourselves. Essentially, we have to become borderline narcissists to relate to a narcissist. We have to become liars. We have to become somewhat sociopathic to appeal to these types of women, because there's no loyalty. They're not loyal to a man. They're not loyal to men. That has to be said right off the bat. These women are not loyal. They're not loyal. They jump from one person to the other. They monkey branch freely, and then they act like they're victims of society. And I honestly can't sit here and say I feel sorry for her, because this story is just going from bad to worse. It's just downright ridiculous. And the more I make these videos, the angrier I seem to get. And I'm tired of being angry. It's just like, what the hell is wrong with these young women? What is wrong with them? And they're not even that young anymore, but they don't seem to learn. They just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. And then when everything goes to hell, they will want a man to come along and to save them, to rescue them. I mean, what kind of crap is that? I'm absolutely frustrated by the current situation with women in America and in the Western world, period. Millennial women are just miserable. I mean, this is like a horrible story. What she did was terrible. She did something downright horrible to the disabled woman, and then she did horrible things to those men that she was dealing with. And if you notice, it was men helping her mostly, not other women. And even the women who did help her, she betrayed them. And she seems to take no accountability. She goes, yes, I was irresponsible, but that's just how it was at the time. But it's not like I was very young. I was like 26 at the time. Guys, how do you do this at 26? You're not a baby at 26. You're not an 18-year-old. She had no money and she was living this way? You've got to be kidding me. That's why, my grandmother used to have a saying. She would say that sometimes when you see someone somewhere and they're suffering, leave them there, because they put themselves there and you don't know the things that they did to end up there. A lot of and those words have stayed with me for so long, because you would see this girl and you would think, oh, the poor thing living in her car, and then you bring her into your place as a guy, and then she completely runs a train wreck on your life, and you give her, you trust her. I mean, come on. She was living on this guy's couch that she had just met. He was kind enough to let her stay at his place, sleep on his couch, rent free. And here's another thing. She was working these jobs. Where's all the money going? Guys, I want you to look at the jacket that she's wearing. That's a really nice coat. How much do you think the damn thing cost? Probably cost $100, or could even have cost a couple $100. $200. All right? And you can tell, like, she's probably burning through all of her money, burning through everything. Her current channel, the channel that she actually has up right now, she spends a lot of time talking about traveling. She travels a lot. She still does sleep in her car. I'll cut to the chase. She still does sleep in her car, but she rents like a room, and she travels a lot now. She travels all over the place, and she loves to travel. That's something that we're seeing continuously with the other people I've talked about. These women, they want nothing but nonstop adventure. They want adventure, But when shit hits the fan, they have nothing to show for it in old age. They're gonna want to settle roots, set up somewhere. Either that or they're gonna go insane. Like I said, there was this one woman named Kathleen that I did a video on, and she basically showed us the bucket that she poops in and the McDonald's cups that she pees in. And she was talking about how lovely her life is. Oh my gosh. Whoa, oh my gosh. What the hell? What the hell is wrong with our generation?
I don't know. We were walking outside at the same time for some reason. Maybe it was our lunch break or just after work we were walking outside. And she was like, why do you have so much stuff in your car? And I was like, I can't remember if I told her or if she guessed, but I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of sleeping in my car right now. And she's like, no, you're not doing that. And so she had a guest room. So she let me stay with her and her fiance for a month until it got closer to their wedding date. And then after that month, luckily I had enough money saved and had enough money coming in that I was able to afford rent in a house in Southeast Portland near like Hawthorne, kind of like Hawthorne and like 43rd or something like around that area. Oh, and by the way, when I was living in my car, like I had no issues. I had no problems whatsoever. It was just fine. It was a little uncomfortable, but it was just totally fine. I didn't get like in trouble. I didn't get told that I had to leave. Nothing like that happened. So I was just fine. But I just wanted to tell you guys that story of what led me to living in my car and then how I got out of that situation, because I feel like a lot of people think that it's either some big, drastic, scary, crazy.
She said it was fun. See, it was fun because she was living in and out of her car here and there were people helping her out frequently. There were people constantly helping her out. People constantly helping her out. And she describes it as fun. Fun. It wasn't scary. It was just fun. Oh my gosh. Our generation is so fucked.
Easy thing that has to happen, or that you're lazy, or that you're stupid, or things like that. Like, no, I was working. I had money. I just didn't have enough money to live in an apartment or a house, and I had my car, so I just slept in my car. So I just don't love like the stigma of people who live or sleep in their car. It's kind of like the whole stigma with all homeless people, but I don't necessarily want to get into this social issue right now. But at least for living and sleeping in your car, like if that's what you want to do, then just do it. It's not
No, don't just do it. It's a horrible way of living. It's not a good way of living. I mean, she doesn't actually, what's something interesting? She said that she lived in her car for like 10 to 11 days straight. Now, here's the thing about that. Where did she shower? Because she said she had no money. Guys, she said she had no money. She would go to the bathroom to like, in these places to clean her teeth and poop and pee. Because that's what she would do, but like in a store. But how would she shower? She had no money. She said she had no money, so there's no way that she had purchased a gym membership in the area, so she wasn't going to the gym to take a shower. So I don't understand it, guys. I don't understand. How was she taking her baths? How was she washing up? How was she cleaning up? She wasn't. She absolutely was not. Oh my God.
Not for people who are lazy and don't want to work. It's not for people who are like fighting the system and don't want to get an apartment. It's none of that. It's just sometimes that's just where your life leads you. Situations happen that you sometimes can't really control, or it's just the best option for you at that time. And that's kind of what it was for me. And that's okay. Like just because something is different than other people.
Sometimes it's just a situation that you just can't really control. She fucked over many different people. She was living somewhere rent free. She could have lived there for guys, when she was living with the disabled woman, she could have lived there for a year, maybe for years, rent free, and saved so much money that way. So much money. I'll tell you something interesting. When you live with someone, you live with a family member, you end up doing a lot of things for them as well. For example, if you live with an older family member, it's not uncommon that you help them do basic things, help them with basic things around the house. She was living with a woman who had autism, but she was highly functional autism. She said that her brother also has autism, high functioning autism. So this was nothing new for her. I mean, she had a golden spoon in her mouth, and this is what she did. I can be very honest with you that if the woman had gotten herself probably a man to help her, a male around a similar age, he would not have done to her what this woman did to her. This woman, I'm like just like shaking my head, and she just came out of nowhere and told her, "Yeah, I'm thinking about leaving." Like, she didn't even give her a proper heads up. She just said, "Oh, I'm thinking about leaving," because she got tired of dealing with her. This is the narcissistic millennial woman. Like, they care about no one else but themselves. And she's saying that this entire situation, it happened because, it was out of her control. How the hell was it out of her? I don't understand how it was out of her control. I don't understand how it was out of her control. Like, I'm just like frustrated listening to this. First, she was staying with this guy. Okay, so first she was staying with this guy who was a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend that didn't even know her but still helped her out. Then she leaves, finds this place, stays with this woman who was really wonderful. And she's not young. This is not a young girl. She said it. She's not young. She's around 30 years old now. She was around 26, 27 at the time. Then after she leaves the woman, doesn't have a place to live, so she goes back to the first guy. He lets her stay with him again. She stays there for like a week and a half. Then she gets a boyfriend, and the boyfriend says, "You know what? You can stay with me and sleep on my couch." So she starts living there. But, don't get me wrong, she falls in love with her long-distance ex-boyfriend who was in Florida, while she's in Portland. So they're not extremely close, right? And they're not even together. But she decides that she's going to have a long-distance relationship with him now while living with another guy. And ends up having to leave. And finally finds herself living in her car. And then she spends something like 10 to 11 days living in her car until one of her co-workers at the new job she got finds out that she was living in her car and says, "You know what? Nope. You can come and stay with me." And she stays there for like a month and saves enough money so that she can finally get a place of her own. But all of this happened out of her. She had no control in this entire matter. Most people don't get this many chances in life. How many chances did she get in life, and how many did she blow through? Men don't get even one chance. When I was homeless, I didn't get one chance. There was no one to help me. No one. I got not a single chance. But women, they just keep jumping from one place to the other. And then she said something that was frightening earlier on in the video, where she said she was going to she decided to just leave LA. Decided to leave LA and go spontaneously to Portland. Why would she decide to just leave LA? That doesn't make any sense, guys. She moved to LA spontaneously, then spontaneously decides to leave LA. No, guys, it sounds more like she did something in LA and she was trying to run away from it, which could be one of the reasons why she left where she was in the first place. She probably keeps getting in trouble. She develops a reputation, and then she leaves and goes to another place and rinses and repeats the same thing over again. And if you notice, there's a pattern of relationships with men where she just keeps on going through men. She literally went through 3 different guys in like over the course of a month. She was on her way to Portland and she ran out of money when she left LA. She said that earlier in the video. But then she found money. She didn't say that she got some money from her father, because she mentions her father in another video. So she does have a father. But she didn't say she got some money from her father or her mother. She said she found some money. She said she was out of money. She didn't have any money, but then she found money. That doesn't make any sense at all. What, you found some extra money in your checking account? Did you take out a loan? No, she didn't say she took out a loan. She said she just found some money. Found money? If she had used a credit card, she probably would have said she used a credit card. None of this story adds up whatsoever.
Doesn't mean that it's wrong or bad. It's just different. And so I lived in my car for a little while and it was fine. And I've slept in my car about another 75 times or 100 times because a lot of the times that I've traveled, I didn't want to spend money on a hotel room. So I just slept in my car in a parking lot at a Pilot or something and I was totally fine. And again, it doesn't mean that I'm doing something wrong. It just means that I don't want to spend 80 bucks to sleep somewhere for 7 hours. Like, I'd rather spend 80 bucks on a lot of lipstick. I just don't.
There you guys have it. I would rather spend 80 bucks on a lot of lipstick. She would rather think about what she's putting on her face, the clothing that she's putting on her back, than actually having a roof over her head. There's a guy named Yan Ling who talked about this. He said he was married to a model who made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he said that she spent all of it on useless junk, and he paid the rent. He was paying all of the bills while she was living completely foolishly, freely. Guys, this is ridiculous. This is downright ridiculous. Ridiculous. She'd rather spend 80 bucks on lipstick than spend it on a room. My gosh.
I want there to be that stigma against people who sleep in their car or who live in their car. Like, some people do it to save money. Some people do it because they move around a lot and they don't really see a reason to get an apartment if they're just moving in 6 weeks. There's tons of reasons that people do it, but that doesn't mean that we should judge them or that they're any worse or better than us. They're just doing something differently. And that's all it is. So I just had a little bit of a different life when I lived in Portland and it was memorable to say the least, but I loved it. I actually loved living in Portland. There are a lot of cool restaurants and cool people and cool bookstores. Powell's bookstore. Oh my gosh.
You know, I'm looking at a comment that Jed, let's see here. I'm looking at a comment that C3 said in my chat, and he says, it's a man's burden to consider the difficult problems of life. Shelter, food, heat, medicine. Guys, I keep saying it, that when Donald Trump cuts all this shit, he cuts the free birth control, the Section 8, the food stamps, all of that, the free healthcare, subsidized healthcare, all of this shit is going. When he cuts all of it, what are these millennial women going to do? Oh my gosh. You know, some people say I pause a lot in these videos. Yeah, I pause because sometimes I have to. How can you just, like, this stuff gets to you. It gets to you. Like, what the fuck am I watching? How can you be so narcissistic? How can you literally, like, openly say that this is the right way to live? We shouldn't judge people who do this. I would rather spend $80 on lipstick. Are you... God help us. God help us.
Guys, Powell's is one of, like, the coolest places I've ever been in. So I guess that's it for this video. I hope I explained it well. I don't know if I did. I'm in a little bit of, like, a weird mood today, but since I'm recording videos 5 times a week, you guys are gonna see me in my, like, super hyper crazy moods and in my, like, little bit of more of, like, a downer mood like I'm in right now. So I don't know. Sorry if I seem, like, super down. I kind of can't tell until I edit this video, but I hope that I don't seem that bad. I don't feel...
Guys, I thought she was in a hyper mood right now. This is a downer mood for her? This is downer? This is her downer mood? This is how she looks when she's a downer? If this is downer, then I hate to see what hyper is. Oh my gosh.
like horrible or anything. I just feel like I'm in like a weird mood. I think it probably just because I haven't eaten that much today, so I'm a little spacey. Sorry if that's like super noticeable. I know I'm not really looking at the camera that much, so I don't know. Sorry. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments any other storytime videos you want me to do. And subscribe if you're not already. I'm putting out videos Monday through Friday for the rest of the year. And don't forget to click that little bell next to the subscribe button so you get emails every time I post a video, because I'm posting them Monday through Friday, but at all different times of the day. So if you click that little bell, you'll get an email telling you what time I post. All right, and I guess that's it. I love you, Jesus loves you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Pew!
I just love how she puts in the Jesus loves you at the end. Someone points out, I was thinking through this. This woman has a mental illness, and you guys are saying in the comments, Maxwell Powers calls it manic depression, and holy cow, Calvin Crowe says she definitely has a lot of mental issues. Ryan Navin says, are her teeth fake? Zedek Simuk says she has blonde hair that says enough, doesn't it? She's a fake blonde. Is she getting money via PayPal, YouTube, etc.? So guys, here's the thing. I was wondering the same thing, if she was getting money like via PayPal, or via YouTube. But when I actually looked at her channel, if I go over to her channel right now, I'll go ahead. Her channel is called Katie Carney. So I guess that's her real name. She has 181 videos. She has 181 videos, but she only has 5,914 subscribers. If I look at the date when her channel was created back in March 2013, but it says that I have all this great statistic software. So, you know what, I'll actually just show it to you. Hold on. I'll show you guys what her channel looks like and all the stats. So that, because my software records it all. So it'll show you all the stats, and it'll even tell you an average of how much money she's making per month. And we can look at that together. So let me hit save. Her name is Katie. Okay, so I'm just going to load it up onto the screen so you guys can see it in just a moment. And you guys will be able to get a better idea of what we're actually talking about. So let's see here. Katie. Yeah, I'm just loading it up. That's why the screen went black for a moment. Okay, so there it is. And I'll just fit it to the screen. There you go. And we can look at it together. So that's her channel statistics. And I have this incredible software that lets me do this. And as you can see, her monthly revenue on the channel is about $45 a month estimated. She has 607,000.6 views to date. So the channel is doing okay, but it's not enough views to make a shitload of money per month, evidently. She has an average daily views of about 1,000 views, which is pretty low. Because my channel does around 20 to 30,000 a day, sometimes up to 40. So she's not really making a lot of money off this channel at all. She's not making a lot of money off this channel at all, and she only has 5,918 subscribers. And the thing about this channel, which is a little frightening, is that she puts out videos quite frequently. She just put out videos. She puts out about 3 videos a week. She said 5 times. She says that she claimed to do it 5 times a week, but recently it looks like she's putting out about 3 videos a week on average. So she's not making any money from YouTube. And looking at her channel even further, there is no link to a PayPal. So, for example, there's no link to donate via PayPal on her channel. There's no link for. There's only an Instagram, a
Hi,
Twitter.
this is Katie. It is
Yeah, I just one of her videos just started playing. There's only an Instagram, a Twitter, and a Facebook, and there's not like a support tab either for YouTube or Patreon. So she's not getting any money from those as far as we can tell, or she's not advertising it that way. So yeah, how exactly is she living? I don't know, guys, but it's definitely not from YouTube. I could say that she is trying to become popular, but she has not become popular yet. And again, this is the type of millennial women that we're going to be seeing more and more of, where it's all about narcissism, it's all about promoting yourself, and it's all about, taking advantage of others and thinking that, and just monkey branching. I mean, we literally watched her monkey branch from one guy to another, taking advantage of multiple men, and these guys just kept on helping her. Uh, Ismail Suleiman says, Western women are so damn entitled. Sabella Shepherd says, I know Social Blade tends to be way off their shit. Sabella, being a YouTube content creator, I can look at the numbers and I can at least guesstimate how much money channels are making. So for example, one thing that Social Blade is good at is it usually is pretty good at letting you know how much someone is making max, or at least close to it. And if I were to look at her Social Blade stats, if you really want me to, because the stats that I got from there, those are using Video IQ. If I look at her Social Blade, her Social Blade says that she's making at most $120 a month. So she's making at most $120 a month from her channel. And most $120 a month. So my software said she was making about $45 a month. Social Blade says that she's making anywhere from $8 to $120 a month at max. So she could be making a little more than that, but she undoubtedly is not. Again, guys, she does not have a lot of traffic, so it's unlikely that she's making a lot of money from this. She's just likes putting her videos up on the web and having people view her content. I mean, this is the American woman. This is the American woman that we have to deal with. This is the generation of women that our parents have left us, that the baby boomers have left us. A narcissistic group of self-entitled, overindulgent women who basically think society is there to take care of them, and that's about it. I mean, it's no wonder they're going to find such major hardships going forward, but it's quite clear that they really don't have much going for them. They don't. I like what World Traveler says. He says, just because a woman is pretty does not mean she is smart. And it's funny, a lot of women use their looks to take advantage of situations. This woman is using her looks to take advantage of men and even other women. And it's eye-opening, but at the same time, it's not surprising because it's something that women have been doing for a long time. But now it's going to catch up on them as they're running out of more and more options. And the way that she's living is ridiculous because she's not a young woman anymore. She's at least around 30, 29, 30. The wall is there. I mean, you can't keep living this way forever. And then the day that she decides that she wants to have children and settle down, it's ridiculous. She points out that, the way that she sleeps in her car, but she doesn't talk about going to the bathroom other than, I go to the bathroom at like a shopping center, or in a store. I really don't believe a lot of the things that she's saying. What do you do in between those hours? You're going on the side of the road. I mean, it's just like so dishonest. Worldly Traveler says, I say she is spending $80 on lipstick because she is looking for a baby daddy. It's funny, guys, like these women, they have so much junk. They would rather spend the money on looking like like they have money than actually living somewhere. I mean, it is downright sad. It is a downright sad thing. but it's going to continue to get worse. It's going to continue to get frustrating, but it's going to be men who actually pull ahead, because women have tried everything. They've tried to destroy men in the education system. They've tried to destroy men in every walk of life. But the thing is, if a man doesn't stand up and fight for himself, then he won't survive. It's funny how society works. This is the reason why men will have to continue to will always be stronger than women, because society does not give men anything. It's either you have to be tactful, you actually have to have a backbone, and it's through struggling that actually pushes people to succeed in life. But when you're handed everything, when you don't know how to survive, when you don't have to work for anything, you lose that capacity. And society is looking to damage men as much as possible, which means that men have to fight even harder to survive in this world, or else they're going to die. Women, on the other hand, they've never experienced anything like that before, but they are going to now. And when they experience it, they're going to be really regretful of third wave feminism, fourth wave feminism entirely. There are going to be women who are literally going to say things along the lines of, we don't want the right to vote anymore. When shit hits the fan, there are going to be women who are going to lash out at the suffrage movement, saying that first wave feminism fucked their lives up, because they don't even care about voting. They just want a place to live, food to eat, and they don't want shelter and someone to take care of them. That's it. And they won't have that. And it's going to be hilarious watching the Gloria Steinens and the Anita Sarkeesians retreating, because these people have already made their money. And the average millennial woman is broke. The average millennial woman is extremely poor. I mean, it's just downright psychotic. But women have made this bed for themselves, and they're going to have to lay in it. And no one should feel sorry for them, because they brought this onto themselves. Generation after generation of millennials have done this, and it's no surprise. Generation after generation of women have been increasingly becoming narcissistic. So it's no surprise that the millennial generation is now this narcissistic and this outright materialistic. I don't expect any major change until women truly experience, serious pain and suffering. And I keep saying to you guys, we're going to have FEMA camps filled with women. FEMA camps are going to be filled with women, because women can't control spending. Shelter, food, all of these things, they are things that men focus on, not women. Women don't think about these things. Men think about these things. Men obsess over these things. Men put money away. Men trade buying fancy things for actually practical things. And then a woman comes along and says, oh, look at this, he has a shelter, he has a car, he has all these things. In other words, he has the things he needs to sustain life, while she has all the things that she wants, but not the things that she needs. See, that's the thing about women. Women will sacrifice the things that they need for the things that they want. Then you have to ask yourself, how does a woman get by when she's living in her car and has her menstrual cycle? That's a whole other question, isn't it? Where does she go to change her tampons in the middle of the night? She's probably doing it right in the car. I mean, it's women are so just, they are really, they will literally do the most bizarre, heinous, despicable things just in the name of vanity. Just in the name of vanity, so that they can look like they have value, rather than actually having value. She would rather be homeless but look good than actually not buying a new outfit every week and have a place to live. It's sickening, but it's not something that's going to change. Yeah, I mean, there was one woman that I made a video on who basically said that she showered in her car. She showered in her car. How the hell do you shower? She said, I shower in my car. How do you shower in your car? Shower in your car? You mean you're using wet wipes in your car, or are you actually using water? Because it looks like her seats were leather. So was she pouring water onto her body while she was in the car itself? You know, Brundy Sanchez makes another great point. What will a woman living in a car do when the battery dies? You know, cars do run out of gas, they run out of steam, and your battery can die. Your battery can die, a lot of different things can happen, or you can even get into a car accident. When you get into a car accident and you can no longer drive the car, what do you do? Or your car gets impounded, what do? You no longer have a place to live. When I was homeless and I was living in my car initially, I got a flat tire and I didn't have any money to change the tire. So the car basically was sitting in the same place for like 2 weeks. For like 2 weeks, the car was sitting in the same place, and I could not change the tire. And eventually, the car got repossessed because I was driving around in the car. But eventually, the car got repossessed. And it's funny because when the car got repossessed, I lost everything that I had. I lost everything. I even lost my passport. I lost my identification. I lost practically everything. I mean, it was the worst of times in my life. And I was sleeping literally outside on the sidewalk. I was sleeping literally outside on the sidewalk. There were rats and roaches around. The first night that I had literally nothing, and this other homeless guy who he gave me a bunch. He just like gave me some stuff, and like I was literally sleeping on the sidewalk. I remember the first night I slept on the sidewalk, and there were people walking by, and I was sleeping outside of a stadium, like near to a stadium where like sporting events happen. So there were tons of people that would just walk by all day long and look at me. Homelessness isn't fun. Some people think that it is fun, but homelessness isn't fun. It's really painful. It's difficult, but these young women, they don't have any idea. And did you hear what this girl called living in her car? She called it fun. She said it was fun. Fun. When she hits 40, it won't be fun anymore. This won't be fun in games anymore. Okay? And getting jobs are becoming more and more difficult. It's becoming much more difficult to actually land a decent job, to land a full-time job. And you need an increasing number of skills to do this. It doesn't look like she has a great education behind her either, because she's just literally living that nomadic lifestyle right now. And it gets no one nowhere. It does not. Because she's not saving money along the way. It's an egotistical way of living life, and that's essentially what's happening with this generation of millennial women. With that said, I want to remind you guys I make about 3 videos every single day plus bonus videos, so please consider becoming a Patreon by heading over to my YouTube homepage or by clicking on the link to my Patreon in the description of this video and leaving a donation via Patreon. And you can become a regular contributor to my work. There's all these rewards, which is really awesome. Also, never miss another Angry MGTOW video by clicking on the little notification button next to the subscribe button below any Angry MGTOW video. This will ensure that you will continue to receive video notifications whenever I put out a video, even if you get accidentally unsubscribed. So when you click on the notification button, you'll see a pop-up that says send me all notifications for this channel. Click on the little box next to that, hit save. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it again. You'll get notifications whenever I put out a new video or whenever I'm streaming, and yeah, you'll never miss another video from me ever again. So definitely make sure that you do it if you have not already done so. Modern day feminism has essentially ruined women. It has ruined the future for women. It has ruined the lives of women. They don't even know it yet. I've said it that 2017 is the year feminism dies. 2018 is the year that they don't even know it's dead. They don't know that people don't see them anymore. And it's something that Turtling Monkey said. I've pointed it out before, but he said it recently, I believe, that egalitarianism is not happening. There's not going to be egalitarianism. They'll try to say they want egalitarianism. It's not going to happen because labels, people are so done with labels at this point. We literally went through a modern day Nazi movement. That's what feminism is. Social justice warriors, the left. This is a modern day Nazi regime, modern day Germany, and it's ridiculous. We're not going to people are not going to go for this oppression again. You know, Marxism always fails. It rears its head. It tries to co-opt society, and then it fails when people realize that they're losing privileges and everything else that comes along with it. Then they no longer want it anymore, and you end up with a guy like Trump who promises to reject it. People are saying that Trump is a lot like Hitler, but in reality, Trump is doing things to actually protect the country, to actually stave off Marxism and communism and socialism. When I was homeless, where did I shower? So, for example, there were different places. There was this one place. There was this one place where homeless people could go to take baths. So I would shower there. Although I definitely did not shower as much as I really needed to. And when I had a car, I would go to the gym and I would shower at the gym. So that's how I showered when I was homeless. Although again, it wasn't a perfect situation. I will say though that. I will say, however, that being homeless, you know, you can start to become depressed, and it can be really hard to get over that lifestyle. It can be extremely hard to get off the street when you're homeless. It can be, because you become used to the lifestyle, and it's like you just never think you'll ever not be homeless. It's like you're going to be homeless for the rest of your life. Some people accept the life and it becomes a part of them. You know, getting back into the normalities of life, paying bills, shopping for groceries, taking care of yourself. These are things that have taken me years to get back into the habit of doing. Years. It has taken me years just to get back into the habit of properly taking care of myself, of buying groceries regularly, of just doing normal things again after I was homeless, because it fucks with your head so much where you kind of just give up on life. But these millennial women, they're making it into like a joyous event, like, yee, homelessness is so much fun. It's an adventure. She said homelessness is fun. She called living in her car fun. She said there was nothing bad about it. I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else to say. Let me know if you agree that this just points out to the failure of millennial women. The fact that they are so narcissistic, materialistic. This is the same. I mean, she said in the video she would rather spend $80 on lipstick than have a roof over her head. Enough said. Let me know what you think about this video, and if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. I'm thinking you guys probably would. Johnny Midnight says, Angry MGTOW. It's called learned hopelessness. I don't buy that. Learned hopelessness. I've heard about that. But there's a lot of people who push it to the point. You know, they take it too far. Let me know, guys, what you think about this situation. If you agree that millennial women have more or less failed and they're headed for a rude awakening, especially under what's happening with Donald Trump and the loss of entitlements in the United States and probably within other countries such as Europe, where they are beginning to pull back on entitlements as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Definitely please consider leaving a donation via Patreon. If you like my work, leave a donation via Patreon. Definitely subscribe to notifications, like I showed you, by hitting the notification button. Like, share, subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads, not some roads, but all roads, lead to MGTOW or death. And cheers. Sandman, you're going to stop using cheers, or I'm going to keep using cheers. We can do this forever, bro. Yeah.